we're kind of doing this on the assumption that you're grieving because you want children and can't have them.
Mm-hmm.
But I forgot to ask, I mean, do you have mixed feelings about having children? Do you really want children?
It's mixed feelings.
Well, let's talk about that, because we've been approaching this from the angle that you really want to have children and make everybody happy, and you're sad because you're letting people down and fear you're inadequate. But let's look at the part of you that perhaps isn't even that excited about having children.
Yeah, I didn't want children for most of my life, and even when I got married. So I changed my mind in my early 30s, and I still don't know how much of that was me feeling like, okay, now it's time to get serious and this is what you need to do. And how much of it is that I really want.
Good little girl or something, right?
Yeah, I didn't have the most happy...
How old are you?
I'm 37 now.
37, yeah. So you're saying I didn't have the
most happy childhood. I had no interest in recreating that for anybody else. I was very ambivalent about having kids. I know it can go wrong in so many ways, and I know how much sacrifice it is. But I thought that it was the meaningful way to spend your life. And I don't know how much of that comes from me.
I see. Okay, well, that puts things in a whole different perspective, and in a way makes it kind of easier to blast some of these thoughts out of the water, right?
It does, in a way. But I guess the belief is, well, what kind of person am I if I'm okay with not having kids?
And, could I talk to you for a minute, Daisy?
Sure.
I don't know if you're aware of this, but I've had some mixed feelings about having children, to be honest with you. In fact, I never wanted to have them up until, my early 30s, and then I've been thinking probably I should have them. That's what a woman's supposed to do. I got that message from my parents, my mother, from society. But we've been trying to have kids, and we've been struggling with it, and we've been having these expensive fertility treatments that haven't worked so far. We still kind of hope they'll work, although I still kind of have mixed feelings about children. But one thing I've been telling myself is that my life will be empty and meaningless without children. What do you think about that? Is that true?
I would say no, that's not true.
Well, why not? I mean, I like what you're saying, but
yeah.
explain it to me a little bit.
I would say there are plenty of people who have children who still question the meaning of their lives. I don't know if there's any evidence that that's going to fulfill you.
I see. Is that true what you're telling me, or are you just bullshitting me?
No, I think that's true.
Let's write that right here, and I'll write it right here. So tell me exactly what you said.
There are plenty of people with children who question the meaning of their lives.
Yeah. Who question the meaning of their life. And how true is that between 0 and 100?
I'd say that's 100% true.
So put that 100. And now how much do you believe this?
20.
20? Okay, put a line through the 40 and put it 20. Now, you want to push it down further? Is 20 far enough, or do you want to push it further?
It'd be nice to push it down further.
Yeah. Okay, but can I talk to you a little bit more here? Mm-hmm. What you said cheered me up a little, and I'm a little less intimidated by that thought, but still, isn't it true for me that my life will be empty and meaningless without children? I mean, you said some people with children have miserable lives. That's for sure. Probably most of them, or an awful lot of them. Yeah. But people without children, they have even more miserable lives, right?
No, I don't have any evidence that that's true. No, that their lives are more meaningless. No.
Are you saying that the people without children can have happy and fulfilled lives?
I do think that's true. Yes.
Are you just bullshitting me, or is that true?
Well, I can think of some examples.
So you're saying there are people without children who can have happy and fulfilled lives? Is that what you said?
Yes. Yes, that is what I said.
And is that true?
Yes, it's true.
Let's put that right here. People without children can have happy and fulfilled lives. How true is that between 0 and 100?
That's 100% true.
100. Okay, put 100 there. And how much do you believe this statement? My life will be empty and meaningless without children.
I don't believe it anymore.
It's a 0?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, put a 0 through there. Yeah, great. Now, before we blast the rest of these, let me see if I can make sure that we're on track with this one. Now, your name is Daisy, and what's my name?
Mary.
Daisy. I'm going to be Daisy now.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to be your negative thoughts. And this is going to sound a little harsh, so you'll have to use that, angry part of yourself to beat me, probably. But I just wanted to remind you, Daisy, and this is a fact, that your life will be empty and meaningless without children. So make sure you get pregnant next month.
Yeah, I don't think that's true anymore. I think having kids was the answer to living a meaningful life, then everyone who has kids would feel completely fulfilled and their lives are meaningful, and that certainly was not the case for my parents. So, yeah, there's no evidence that that's absolutely true.
Who won?
I did.
Big or small?
Big.
Big or huge?
Huge.
Huge. Okay. Let's just, now we got you on a roll. I'm going to just start hitting you with the rest of these things, and we won't stop to have you write down the positive thoughts, but we'll give you access to the audio. We could have just done it on your cell phone too for convenience. Oh well, it's not important because we can download the audio for Dropbox for you, right? Yeah, and so you can listen to it and write them down to finish it on paper. But we'll just do it this way. Yeah, but you know that people who have children live happier and more fulfilling lives. You can't deny that.
Well, maybe some of them do. I don't know if they all, if everybody does. I'm a little stuck with that one.
Okay, you want to try a role reversal?
Yeah.
Or what? First of all, let's go back to the double standard technique.
Okay.
But I'm Mary again, or is that my name? Yeah. But isn't it true that people who have kids will live happier and more fulfilling lives? So won't my potential for happiness be limited if I don't have children?
Actually, no. There's actually data on that. That people who have kids, they feel happier for a few years, and then you go back to baseline. So that's...
Oh, I see. I see. Is that true, what you're telling me, or are you just bullshitting me?
No, I believe the data on that. I think that's true.
So you want to write that over here? We may be running out of space, but we'll just get it. So what did you say? There's no evidence, did you say?
Yeah.
No evidence that having children
leads to
happier lives. Yeah. One of my favorite shows on television is called The First 48 Hours. Have you seen that?
No.
Oh, it's homicide investigations about murders. And they're actual documentaries. It's not made up or something. And it's an hour show, and each show they investigate typically 2 murders. And all these people have children. They look real miserable. Of course, being murdered might have something to do with that. But I mean, you see this slice of life of these people with tons of children.
Yeah.
And they don't look at all happy.
Yeah, that's true.
Is that helpful?
That's a good example. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, Daisy. But the fact is, you're missing out on the most important part of life.
I don't think that's true. I mean, I think there are a lot of parts of life. It could be an unimportant part, but the most important part, I don't think that's true. This one's tough for me.
Oh, I was going to say, could we stretch and say that this is actually the most important part of your life? The fact that you can't have kids could be the most important part of your life.
Yeah, could be.
Why might that be?
Because it could lead me to do a lot of other things, maybe.
Mm-hmm. What else?
I don't know.
Well, sometimes life kicks us in the stomach, right?
Yeah.
And when you resolve those things, is there a benefit to that?
Oh, yeah.
What would that be?
It can make you more compassionate.
Mm-hmm. Toward others or toward yourself?
Both, maybe. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Do a role reversal if you like here.
Okay. You're missing out on the most important part of life.
No, I'm enjoying the most important part of life at this moment. Harking back to your bull.
Yeah.
Do you see that? I don't know if that's going to be helpful or not.
I don't know. I'm not sure about that one.
No?
No, I think I'm still struggling with that one.
Okay, well, all I meant by that was that the most important part of life is to treat yourself with compassion.
Oh, I see.
Do you see? And
yeah.
That's where you get joy,
right,
and fulfillment. But let me be merry again.
Okay.
Now, Daisy, you've been helping me, but I feel like I'm missing out on the most important part of my life. Isn't that true? Isn't having children the most important part of any woman's life? Isn't that kind of my function? To be a vesicle for children?
I think that's something that society tells women. And the truth is that for most people's lifespan, it's a relatively small part of your life before they start becoming more independent. And, if you don't have your own life, once they're independent, you're going to be back to square one. And I've seen that happen to people.
I see. So you're saying it's not true that I'm missing out on the most important part of my life? Because I feel like I'm missing out on the most important part of my life.
I think you might be missing out on a part of some people's lives, but the most important part, I wouldn't say that.
How much do you believe what you're saying?
I believe that. When I'm telling somebody else, I believe it.
And I'm identical to you, right?
Right.
So that's true what you're saying?
Yeah.
And that's true of Daisy?
Yeah, it must be true then, for me too.
Okay, can you write that right here? I'll write it too, so say it out loud.
So it's one part of life, but it's not necessarily the most important part.
Or the only part.
Or the only part.
And how much do you believe that?
I believe that 100%.
Mm-hmm. Now, how much do you believe I'm missing out on the most important?
I don't believe that right now at all.
So put a 0 wherever it is. Okay. And what was this one? I
am defective and inferior to people.
Oh, how much do you believe that?
I don't believe that anymore.
Okay, great. We're on a roll again. But it's interesting. One of the things I put in my book, one of the hikers suggested a derrick was one of those things. If you look at it from one angle, it's a rabbit. If you look at it from another angle, it's a duck. And I found one and put it there. And this is the same that's going on here. Do you see that?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Well, I hate to give you the bad news, Daisy, but if this treatment doesn't work, your life will be a failure. And don't you forget it.
I mean, that just sounds silly to me. I mean, if it fails, the treatment will be a failure, not me.
Who won?
I did.
Big or small?
Big.
Big or huge?
Huge.
Huge. How did you get to huge now? Because you get to huge and then you slip out of enlightenment. Now you're back into enlightenment. How did you get back into enlightenment?
I'm still thinking about the tennis example.
Oh, you like that? Yeah. It's clear, isn't it?
It's very clear.
David, you suck. You're a failure as a human being, and you will have no fulfillment. Well, Daisy, you beat me on that one, but I did want to tell you, though, that you should have done more with your career, given that you don't have any kids.
It's pretty unfair in a way, because even though I haven't had kids, these treatments have consumed a lot of my physical and emotional and mental energy for 3 years. So I think there's good reason why maybe I haven't done more than I would have.
Who won?
I did.
Big or small?
Big.
Big or huge?
Huge.
Huge. Great. And now, how are you getting to huge now? Why are you getting to huge, whereas sometimes you're sunk down into the despair?
It just sounds so cruel. I feel kind of angry listening to this.
Yeah, the anger is
ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a good, something for us to work with here. The anger is really desirable. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the fact is, and I'm just continuing from the explanation, we're almost to the end of the negative thoughts. I'm just continuing with externalization of voices, and then we could maybe go on to a feared fantasy for an even more extreme thing.
Okay, right.
But Daisy, I know you're temporarily cheered up by David and his ridiculous team therapy and tennis example, which is so trivial compared to having children. But the fact is, without children, there isn't much to look forward to.
Oh, when I hear that said out loud now, I kind of feel like that's a double-edged sword. So a lot of the people I know who have kids, they worry so much about the future. So, I mean, I won't have all that worry in a way. So and the things to look forward to are still the things to look forward to.
Who won?
I do.
Big or small?
Big.
Big or huge?
Huge.
Huge. Okay. Yeah, but it's that's all well and good, but it's unfair that the treatment doesn't work for you folks, because it's worked for so many people. Fate is just unfair.
These treatments, they don't have the best success rate. It's not 100%. It's always a gamble, and you're hoping you're going to come out on the side of winning, but not everybody does, and we're not alone in that.
Who won?
I did.
Big or small?
Big.
Big or huge?
Huge.
Huge. I would have an add-on. Mm-hmm. I would say, and furthermore, if the treatments don't work, I can quit and relax and unwind and then maybe get pregnant later on.
Well, it would be nice not to do this anymore.
I keep thinking that, maybe the body is under intense stress, is rejecting temporarily pregnancy. I'm no expert. I don't know what I'm talking about. I was just thinking this today, like for an evolutionary purpose. Like if there's dinosaurs coming and stuff, it's not desirable for the women to be getting pregnant because they got to keep moving around and stay safe. And then later, that's not true?
Well, I mean, think about war-torn countries where women are still having children. I don't know if that really doesn't...
Oh, well, forget that argument.
Sorry, Dave.
I thought I was onto something really clever.
I hate to be the naysayer.
But it's at the same time, there is data for what I'm saying, that once that pressure to get pregnant disappears, frequently, like that's why I exist, as I've told you.
Oh, yeah.
So I have some personal evidence for that, because my mother couldn't have children. Mm-hmm. And they finally gave up and adopted children.
Right.
And then
out
I came pumping out. I'm just a little slow, folks. Anyway, the fact is, I get what you said about the treatment. That was very enlightened and so forth. But the fact is, you're a disappointment to your family and to your mother, and she needs grandchildren, and she's under a lot of criticism, and that's because of you. It's your fault.
That makes me angry too. I mean, if I'm a disappointment to her, that's on her.
Who won?
I did.
Big or small?
Big.
Big or huge?
Huge.
Huge or ginormous?
Ginormous.
I had a feeling. Let's see. What?
Let's see. That one was, what kind of person am I if I'm okay or not?
Oh, yeah. What kind of person are you if you're okay with not having children? I mean, that's a woman's role, and women have to stay in their place.
I think I'm a realistic person. Person who knows that there are many ways to be happy.
Who won?
I did.
Big or small?
Big.
Big or huge?
Huge.
Could we do a quick, I think we've got everything blown away. Could we do a quick feared fantasy?
Yeah.
Do you have some thoughts that others might judge you?
I do.
And what would people be thinking? Let's write down what they'd be thinking about you.
They might feel sorry for me and pity me. Think my life is very sad, like a tragedy. And that it's just not as good as other people's lives. Not as good as their lives. That's missing something.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
And and who are these people? Strangers? Family? Who? David and Fabrice? Who's?
Co-workers.
Co-workers. And so give us some names. Not your actual co-workers.
Let's see. Lisa and Mary.
Oh, Lisa. You ready, Mary? So I'm Lisa here. Could I speak with you for a minute?
Sure.
I didn't mean to make you unhappy, but I heard through the grapevine that you haven't been able to have children, and I just wanted you to know that I feel sorry for you and pity you.
Ouch. That's harsh.
Well, I know you like to face the truth, and I mean, your life is kind of a tragedy. That's why I pity you.
I see.
You're missing out on something. I have many children. I have 11 now.
Wow. Oh, gosh. That's a lot of children. I'm crumbling again. This is harsh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's just talk. How are we gonna respond to that? Let's just try a role reversal.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to say I feel really sorry for you that you can't have kids. It's very sad. Your life is sad.
Well, I haven't given up on it, to tell you the truth. Although I've always had mixed feelings about having children, but I did go through a period of grief, when the fertility treatments failed, and I started telling myself some bullshit, kind of like that I couldn't be happy without children, and I kind of got over that. But it sounds like you have a ton of children.
Oh yeah, I have 11 kids.
11, that's wonderful.
My life is perfect.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. Yeah, I'm really happy for you.
I feel so fulfilled, and my life is so meaningful.
That's fantastic. You must be just like a mega mother.
Yes, that's right.
Well, I admire you a lot, and that's great.
Yeah, being a mom is the most important thing you can do in life.
Oh, really? Well, that makes you incredibly important, and quite a bit more important than me, I would think, because I don't have any children.
That's right.
How important are you now?
I'm Mother of the Year.
Oh, really? Well, I'm so proud to know you.
Yeah.
Now I have friends in high places as well as my many friends in low places.
Oh, I wouldn't want to hang out with someone who doesn't have kids.
No kidding. Do all the mothers kind of hang out together?
We'd have nothing to talk about. We'd have nothing in common.
No kidding. That's kind of you're kind of a one trick pony.
Yes. Well, it is the most important part of life.
Well, okay. If you change your mind, we can hang out again.
Okay.
I've always kind of enjoyed you, but I didn't know you had this rule. If I run into some mothers, though, I'll refer them to you.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
So who won?
You did.
And why?
Just weren't buying it.
Yeah.
It just made me seem ridiculous.
Yeah. Let's try a role reversal.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard that you can't have kids, and I've just been feeling so sorry for you, and I pity you.
Well, you're right. I can't have kids, and it is a very sad thing in many ways. But, I'm coming to terms with accepting that.
Yeah, I guess you have to accept the fact that you're kind of not as good and kind of a little on the defective side, I guess we'd have to say, and perhaps missing out on the most important thing in life for a woman.
I actually don't believe that. I actually have had mixed feelings about having kids. I mean, I think it would be wonderful in many ways, but I think it would be really hard in other ways.
What kind of a monster are you, being happy without children?
Well, I think that there's actually a lot of research showing that having kids doesn't make people happy in the long run.
It makes me happy. I'm a tremendous mother.
Oh, well, that's
and I
good.
have fantastic children.
Well,
They're all headed straight for Harvard.
Oh, wow. Harvard. Well, that's wonderful. I'm very happy for you. I'm glad it brings you that joy.